What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this Friday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, where we're here to talk some Arizona Cardinal football. And obviously, we got some breaking news dropping in the world of the NFL, which a lot of us aren't really happy. A lot of us understand, but it doesn't make it any easier. Let's just put it that way. We get why this needed to happen. We understood that this might have been a possibility, but the idea of it happening, it doesn't make it any less of hurt. Before we get started, everybody, definitely do me a huge favor, smack up the like button. Also subscribe over to the Arizona Sports Fan here on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter, go ahead and shoot us a follow here on the AZ Sports Fan here. We are going to have this conversation and try to have a therapy session amongst the big breaking news that dropped about Deandre Hopkins being released by the Arizona Cardinals. We have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to dive into about, everything that's happened. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about how this all started. Let's talk about what the future is going to hold for the Arizona Cardinals and what do we look like right now, right? Right now, our wide receiving core doesn't look, I'm not going to say doesn't look great, but it's not a Super Bowl winning wide receiving core, at least in my opinion. Now, I think they have the possibility, they have the potential to be good, but not Super Bowl contending wide receiving core. Let's just put it that way. But a lot of potential we have. A lot of potential. So this all started here, ladies and gentlemen, with some breaking news coming out of the world of the NFL from Adam Schefter, and it says this. Deandre Hopkins now becomes a free agent instead of being traded, can sign anywhere he wants. Essentially, basically saying that the Arizona Cardinals have released Deandre Hopkins, and the Arizona Cardinals did actually make it official as well on their own social media, saying that they have released Deandre Hopkins. Now, we made a video about this probably about a month ago, I want to say, and it's so crazy to see the amount of comments that we've seen on that video, and it was labeled, "Can the Arizona Cardinals really release Deandre Hopkins?" And I still remember making that video because I was hot. I was heated up. I was saying things like, how in the living heck would the Arizona Cardinals do something like this? Now, 3 weeks, a month removed, I still kind of feel a little upset, but I'm not as upset or hot about the situation. Now, I think Arizona Cardinal fans, I guess we all kind of convinced ourselves in the beginning of these trade talks, or the beginning of, is DeAndre Hopkins going to be an Arizona Cardinal next year or this coming year in the 2023 season? We all convinced ourselves that DeAndre Hopkins is worth at least a first round pick, right? That didn't happen. As the time went by, we convinced ourselves that a second round pick is what we're willing to take. That didn't happen. Then we convinced ourselves that a third round pick was what we're willing to take. That didn't happen. And we ended up hearing Monty Ossenfort saying, we're not going to trade DeAndre Hopkins, right? We're not going to trade DeAndre Hopkins during draft night. We all thought everything was okay. We saw DeAndre Hopkins coming out and saying, whoever said I wanted to get traded, whoever said I wanted to leave, we all got excited. Everything was going to be cool, hunky-dory. No. Today shattered a lot of Arizona Cardinals fans, I'm not going to say dreams, but their aspirations of what 2023 can become. Let's just put it that way. The Arizona Cardinals in the 2023 season are in no shape or form to become Super Bowl contending team. Not even a playoff contending team. We got fans out there saying that this is going to be a wash of a season, that this is going to be a tank-a-thon type of season for the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe. Because it's not just DeAndre Hopkins we have to worry about. Now we have to worry about Budda Baker. What's the future of Budda Baker? Is he going to see this move being made and say, hey, we're not going to win. We're not going to win with this organization. Let me reiterate the fact that I want out of this organization. I want to be traded. Now, we all heard that Deandre Hopkins or that Budda Baker wants to be the highest paid safety, right, in the NFL. Right now, he's getting paid pretty good. But I don't think this move helped the fact that Budda Baker possibly wants to continue with this organization. I don't know, right? We don't truly know 100%. If he gets paid, maybe he does want to stay. We don't really know. Now, this was something that we ended up coming across. At one point, I was going to say to myself, oh, maybe the Arizona Cardinals were going to post date this June 1st so we can open up some cap savings. No, I don't know if the Arizona Cardinals were aware of this, but as of right now, this was not able to be post-dated June 1st. Now, as of right now, we're sitting on May 26th, Friday, May 26th. I don't understand why we couldn't wait maybe a week or two. Maybe if somebody knows the answer, definitely let me know in the chat, because I'm not fully aware as to why the Arizona Cardinals couldn't wait a little bit to open up the cap space that we all wanted. Now, in my crazy mind, when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, well, the Arizona Cardinals are gonna post June 1st date this, right?" No, we can't do that for a simple reason here. One, the Arizona Cardinals or the organization, every organization gets 2 post June 1st dates. We used them 2 already. We already used them. We used them on J.J. Watt and we used it on Rodney Hudson. So this tweet came out from Tom Pelissero, which I feel like does a very, very good job in explaining what the Arizona Cardinals are trying to do. So from Tom Pelissero, it says it's not a post-June 1st cut. So the Arizona Cardinals clear $7.3 million in 2023 cap space. And let me just say this. That's enough to probably extend Budda Baker. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's probably enough. Let's continue reading. Eating all $22.6 million in dead money now, and Deandre Hopkins will be off the books in 2024. Arizona held out as long as they could, but couldn't trade Deandre Hopkins' contract. Now he hits the open market. Arizona is also off the hook for $19.45 million cash this year. Hopkins had no guarantee money left on his contract. Great way of putting this in black and white, as simple as you could possibly put it. Thank you so very much, Tom Pelissero, for breaking this down. So the Arizona Cardinals couldn't do a post-June 1st release. We could have saved more money if we probably waited. Like I said, if you guys know the answer in terms of why we didn't wait a week and a half or 2 weeks and then release them, let me know in the chat. But I think the moment that the Arizona Cardinals really realized that this organization or this year was not going to be anything more than a wash, I think Deandre Hopkins knew that. I think Budda Baker knew that. Now, the release doesn't come as a surprise after I saw this, Deandre Hopkins coming on this podcast and saying this. On a recent appearance on the I Am Athlete podcast, free agent wide receiver Deandre Hopkins listed the 5 quarterbacks that he'd most likely like to catch a pass from. The Bills, Josh Allen; the Eagles, Jalen Hurts; Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes; Ravens, Lamar Jackson; and then Chargers, Justin Herbert. Ladies and gentlemen, nowhere on that list did Deandre Hopkins said Kyler Murray. Nowhere on there. This man has already been checked out of the Arizona Cardinals organization. Yes, he still works out here, but he spent a lot of time in Dallas. So for the people out there that didn't really think that this was a possibility, boom, breaking news. Here it is. Deandre Hopkins is now not a member of the Arizona Cardinals. Your star wide receiver should not be saying things like this if he wants to stay an Arizona Cardinal. He shouldn't be. He absolutely should not be saying any of it. He should have deflected this question, but he knew. He knew deep down that Monty Ossenfort and the Arizona Cardinals were going to cave. In the releasal, it actually became. So now we're sitting as who our wide receiving core is right now. We got Marquise Hollywood Brown, which I think a lot of us are a fan of, right? As long as he can stay healthy. And the relationship between him and Kyler Murray is obviously inevitable. It's a really good relationship. Marquise Hollywood Brown, got Greg Dortch, Rondell Moore, Zach Pascal, and then Michael Wilson. Those seem to be the top 5 wide receivers that the Arizona Cardinals currently have on their roster right now. Would we say that that's a Super Bowl contending wide receiving core? Nah. Would we say that's a playoff winning wide receiving core? Probably not either. But we got to make do with what we have. It sucks. It absolutely, oh yeah, it's terrible. It sucks. It sucks that the Arizona Cardinals were forced to release Deandre Hopkins because nobody wanted to touch that contract. Nobody wanted to touch that contract. And I know Monty Ossenfort was trying to do his due diligence, tried to at least get a second-round pick. It became possibly a third-round pick. And now we are left with nothing. We got nothing but cap savings, which is good. Well, we'll take the cap savings. But I think if you really think about it here on the other side of the coin, Deandre Hopkins didn't want to be here. Hop didn't want to be here. He wasn't there in voluntary OTAs. And I know people are going to say, well, it's voluntary, right? It's voluntary, Mike. Don't look too much into it. I heard the idea of, well, not the idea, but I heard that Deandre Hopkins was on this podcast. I refuse to make a video about that specific storyline because I am so tired of the Deandre Hopkins news. I am. This kind of feels like a little bit of a relief. A little bit of a relief. I'm talking about a very, very slight sliver of a relief. I'm talking about a slight sliver of relief that Deandre Hopkins, the storyline is done. Does it suck that we released him? Yes. Does it suck that the Arizona Cardinals got absolutely nothing out of this whole, era of Deandre Hopkins? Yes, it's terrible. It sucks. I guess it needed to happen. But Deandre Hopkins didn't mention his boy, Kyler Murray, on the I Am Athlete podcast. He mentioned people like Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Nowhere on there is Kyler Murray, ladies and gentlemen. By that right there specifically, I think it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time for Deandre Hopkins to get the boot. And I think Deandre Hopkins deep down knew. I think deep down DeAndre Hopkins knew if he jumped on this podcast, it was going to blow up and it was going to become bigger than some guy just answering a question. We're talking about a number 1 wide receiver, a star wide receiver that we got so many teams looking at. Well, what's DeAndre Hopkins going to do? What's he going to do? What's going to happen? It's terrible. The terribleness comes from we weren't able to do anything with him. That's where I'm feeling. But did this need to happen? It did. You're not going to sit here and claim to be an Arizona Cardinal player and try to flirt on the other side, right? And try to flirt on the other side where it looks a little greener. Yes, the Arizona Cardinals aren't going to go anywhere this year. I think we're all fully aware that we're in absolute gut this down rebuild mode. I think we're all fully aware of that. But dang, to not get anything out of this, oof, it's terrible. It sucks. Now, Budda Baker. Budda Baker's next. What's going to happen with Budda? Per Tom Pelissero's tweet here, it looks like the Arizona Cardinals did save up some cap space, right? We got about $7.3 million in cap, which I still do think that that's enough to pay Budda Baker if the Cardinals choose to do so. If this is just a contract negotiation, I don't see a world that the Arizona Cardinals don't restructure Budda Baker's deal. If this is something where Budda Baker wants to get extended, but also wants to go to a winning organization, it's not going to be here. Let's just be honest here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's call a spade a spade. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So for the Cardinal fans that have come to the comments and already said, goodbye, I'm not an Arizona Cardinal fan anymore. I mean, that's your decision. There's nothing I can do, right? I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. It's your decision. But to me, I think Budda Baker, this move right here from the DeAndre Hopkins situation, I don't think it helped the Budda Baker storyline. Because to me, deep down, and I know, it's all opinions, right? So it's all opinions and what we see from the outside. But I truly don't think that the Arizona Cardinals think that this is just a contract deal. Because if that's the case, we could have done that a while. We could have done that already. Budda Baker could have already got extended. And why? Why do you ask me? Well, why, Mike? Why do you say that? Because the Arizona Cardinals coming into this free agency offseason had the seventh most highest cap space. The seventh most highest cap space heading into this year's offseason. So to me, I feel like it's a little bit more than just money for Budda Baker. If it hasn't happened yet, we might be hearing some news here pretty soon. If not within the next couple weeks, maybe a month, but definitely before the 2023 season kicks off. Because right now, what we do know is that Budda Baker has requested a trade away from the Arizona Cardinals. And I don't think this Deandre Hopkins news helps it. Although, yes, clears up space, I think it's a little bit deeper than that. A little bit deeper than that. So as of right now, the Arizona Cardinals have released the star wide receiver in Deandre Hopkins. We got a few potential wide receivers that we have on our roster. I've got somebody in the chat says Michael Wilson equals Megatron 2.0. I hope so. From your lips to the football god's ears. Hope so. Because all we're living off is hope, right? All we're living off is potential. We're living off of prayer or hope. That's what we're living off as Cardinal fans right now. Let's be honest. For the casual Arizona Cardinal fan, they don't understand why this move needed to be done. For the Cardinal fans that love to read into what's going on, try to be in the know, and try to figure out what's going on within, our star wide receiver, I think, although I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt, but we understood why this was going to happen. We understood why this is happening. I'm not saying it makes it better, because it hurts. It hurts. So here we are right now. Here we are. Monty Osenfort's hand was forced. Monty Osenfort and the Arizona Cardinals decided to release star wide receiver Deandre Hopkins. 2023 is going to be as far as Kyler Murray is going to take us. I guess that's the best way to put it. As far as Kyler Murray is willing to take us is how far we're going to go in the 2023 season. I did see a comment out there saying that Deandre Hopkins was Kyler Murray's safety blanket. Now Deandre Hopkins is gone. They want to see what Kyler Murray is going to do, right? I don't think anybody's safe. Truly. I don't think anybody's safe. This year is going to be very pivotal. Very, very pivotal for Kyler Murray. Although, yes, under contract, Kyler Murray is, that does not mean anything. Apparently, right? Apparently, it doesn't mean anything. Diop was under contract, released. Ate money, right? They ate it. Budda Baker, under contract, wants to get traded out, potentially being traded away somewhere. Under contract, doesn't mean anything. Kyler Murray's under contract to 27? Doesn't mean anything. I don't think anybody's safe with this new regime. I truly don't. And if it's for the best, because in 5 years down the way, we're finding ourselves to be an organization that's actually doing good things and actually being competitive, okay. Let's rock and roll. Let's see what happens here with the Arizona Cardinals. But as of right now, unfortunately, these are the bumps and bruises that I think we're kind of used to as Cardinal fans. But honestly, right now, I don't think anybody's safe, including Kyler Murray. We already drafted a quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to come out here and outplay Kyler Murray and win his job. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying Clayton Tune is that guy. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that the Arizona Cardinals organization, with the move of getting a quarterback in the draft, is already in their mind. Is Kyler Murray going to be the future for the Arizona Cardinals? It's a wait and see type of deal, because 2023, it doesn't seem like it's going to be very, very exciting. Let's just put it that way. Let's take it to the comments here. We got somebody in the chat says, I'm not mad. At least I have the feeling that Monty knows what he's doing, especially after the draft. Well, that's the thing, right? Honestly, the best thing that Monty Osenfort's got going for him right now is the draft. I truly think that the draft was a very, very good thing. But we don't truly know how these prospects are going to blossom, right? We don't know how these prospects are actually going to turn into until 2 or 3 years down the road, right? Now we're talking about Isaiah Simmons. When everybody was so excited to get Isaiah Simmons, now we declined his 5th-year option, and he's playing for a contract year this year. And we don't even know where he's going to be, right? Safety, middle linebacker, edge. We don't truly know. Maybe safety. So it's one of those things where a decision can affect your organization for years. And I mean years. It's very unfortunate. Someone in the chat says Marvin Harrison Jr. is on deck. Honestly, with the organization that we have right now, yeah, honestly, the first round picks that we have, they might be very, very good first round picks for sure. Somebody in the chat says, happy this move happened. I and all of you should only want players who want to be on AZ. D-Hop didn't want to come here anymore. Yeah, I mean, didn't want to be here anymore is what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like I said a little earlier before we started this stream, right? Like, you're not going to jump on a podcast and not name your quarterback, right? You're just not going to do it. You know what I mean? And the truth of the nature here is that Deandre Hopkins didn't want to be here. Right? He didn't. You don't do this to your quarterback and try to play with them in 2023. You don't. Budda Baker might be on his way out too. Let's just call it as it is. Let's call it as it is. Although we do not want Budda Baker gone because he was drafted here and we have a little bit more of attachment to Budda Baker. I think if it was truly a money situation, he should have gotten extended before the draft. We didn't do anything in free agency. We didn't. We didn't do anything in free agency. We did a few moves here and there. No splash moves. I think a lot of people would be excited if we extended or restructured the deal with Budda Baker. But I think truly right now, I think it's more than just a contract situation that we're dealing with right now. Here we go. We got a super chat coming our way. Contribution from Deus. What's up, brother? He says, if Kyler Murray doesn't produce without DeAndre Hopkins, he's gone. Oh, yeah. You ain't wrong. That's what I'm telling. That's what I'm saying right now. The move of drafting a quarterback, although, yes, he might not be the guy for the future, although I like Clayton Tune, and I was talking about Clayton Tune way before the draft. When we were doing our mock drafts, I consistently always went back to Clayton Tune. I'm not saying he's the guy that's going to be rising us from the ashes. I'm not saying that. But the move of them getting a quarterback and a move of, this is a very pivotal year for the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Nobody's safe. Nobody is safe at all. We made a video probably about 3 weeks ago. We made a video about 3 weeks ago. And I forgot what I titled it, but I was talking amongst the idea of the Arizona Cardinals already move off of Kyler Murray next year's draft with the possibility of Caleb Williams and then getting that star wide receiver. We talked about it. I made a video about it. It could be a possibility. So for the people right now that are very, very, Kyler Murray heavy, which I don't know if people can consider me as the guy that's like, doesn't say anything bad about Kyler Murray. I don't think I'm that guy. I truly think I'm in the middle. I think I like Kyler Murray because he's our quarterback and I like the potential of what he can become. But let's be honest, it's tick talking right now. The clock is ticking for Kyler Murray. There's no reason why we shouldn't at least have a playoff win with the franchise quarterback. There's no reason. So I don't think anybody's safe. Truly. I don't think anybody's safe. Somebody in the chat says K1 is going to be all right. Well, let's see. Let's see. Right now, the only person right now that's going to be able to answer that question is Kyler Murray. This year is pivotal. Absolutely huge. Because right now, we got a lot of Cardinal fans, even Kyler Murray fans, chopping at the bit, licking their chops, thinking of the idea of Caleb Williams. A lot of people. And Marvin Harrison Jr. A lot of people. So, it's for the best interest for the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray to ball out next year. Or, I guess, it's for the best interest for Kyler Murray to ball out next year. But we'll see. We'll see. Someone in the chat says, goodbye, Budda Baker. I think it's just a matter of time. If I'm going to give you my honest personal opinion here, I think it's a matter of time. And I think it's a little bit more than just a money situation. I think it's more than a money situation. Someone in the chat says, would like to see Clayton Tune start until Kyler returns. Also believe this is Kyler Murray's prove it year if he returns. If he gets re-injured or underperforms, he's most likely gone. Yeah, you're right. 100%. I truly would love to see Clayton Tune as well. I want to see this preseason, to me, honestly, and it's so crazy because we're talking about a late round quarterback, right? We're talking about a late round quarterback in Clayton Tune. We're talking about a late round quarterback, but I'm excited about this year's preseason because of the idea of if Kyler Murray's not a go, we got an actual quarterback competition in Clayton Tune, Colt McCoy, and then those other guys that we have on the roster, right? What Jeff Driscoll and David Blau, right? We're going to truly have a quarterback competition if Kyler Murray is not going to be able to go in the beginning of the season. This preseason is going to be pretty interesting to watch. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking out for. But honestly, I don't think anybody's safe. Nobody is safe from this regime. And I'm not saying this regime like, oh my God, watch how they're doing everything terrible. No, I'm not saying that. I truly, right now, I'm in a situation where I don't know what they're going to do, right? We're seeing these moves right now, and the most exciting thing for me for this new regime is the draft. Because free agency wasn't it for me. Nothing happened in free agency. There was a couple people here and there, but I was like, okay, I mean, it is what it is, right? The draft was pretty exciting. I think they nailed on a lot of people that I think have potential to be good players. Not saying great, but good players, and I mean starters for the Arizona Cardinals. So we got potential, a lot of potential. And then obviously with this whole moves of Deandre Hopkins, some people don't like it, right? They don't like the release. They don't like that we didn't get anything back. Makes sense. Makes sense. But I think in the truth of the nature here is that the Arizona Cardinals and Monty Ossenfort's hands were tied. Not much you can say other than that. It's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate here for the Arizona Cardinals, but it's something that definitely needed to be done. Somebody in the chat says, hashtag free Budda. I think Budda is gone. I truly do think that Budda Baker is only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time until we find out that Budda Baker is either going to get traded or released. I say traded because I think he has a lot more trade value than a Deandre Hopkins had, because obviously the contract and the age with D-Hop is just, it's what it is at this moment. Somebody in the chat says, at this point, whose jerseys are they even trying to sell? It's a good question. I don't think you guys understand on how many fans, and I'm talking about so many fans, have reached out to me already on my Twitter, on my Instagram, saying things like, I am not going to any game. I'm not buying a new jersey. I'm not doing anything until this Arizona Cardinals organization or this new regime proves that they're going to be the right guys. So many fans have already told me that. I don't know whose jersey they're trying to sell. Maybe Kyler. But like I said, you guys in the chat right now are the ones that love to talk about the Arizona Cardinals, even in the offseason, even in May when it's so hot outside and we're talking about football, right? There's a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans that they don't care about the offseason. They don't care about the offseason. They just want to watch the games. They want to see the Arizona Cardinals perform. I know a lot of those Arizona Cardinal fans because they are friends and family members of mine. They don't care about any of the offseason stuff at all. But this is the foundation of what our organization is going to be, right? This is the foundation of what we're going to be, you know? So it's crazy. Someone in the chat says, I'd buy a Pat Tillman or a Kurt Warner jersey. If they sell them in the new jerseys, hey, why not? Do you like the new jerseys? Right now, they've grown on me, but not enough to buy. Let's just put it that way. They have grown on me, but not enough to buy them. I haven't bought a new jersey myself. I just haven't gone around to doing it. I did tell myself I'm going to go to Just Sports or go to the team shop and try to look at them in person. Maybe it'll change my mind. But as of right now, I'm kind of on the boat where I like what Monty Osenford and the new regime is doing, but the Cardinals organization needs to prove it to the fans that this organization and this regime is capable of actually doing the right things. And that's not correlation as to why I didn't buy a jersey. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. But this organization has a lot to prove to fans. A lot to prove to fans, ladies and gentlemen. I mean a lot. Here we go. Another contribution coming our way from James. What's up, James? Appreciate you. He says, top draft quarterback prospects never work out for us. But the reality is we will never win while we have the Bidwells. We need a miracle. Keep up the videos. I appreciate you, James. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of Cardinal fans out there that truly want Bidwell to sell, right? And with that whole big storyline with is it Terry McDonough and what's going on, we don't know what's going to come out of it, right? We're all hoping that maybe a Robert Sarver outcome can become with the Bidwell family, because we know that we're kind of unfortunately held hostage to the billionaires that own these organizations, which I know Michael Bidwell deep down wants to win. But the decisions that this man makes, I feel like he should not be making decisions. And now I know he needs to make the decision for the GM. We don't know what Monty Osenford is going to become, right? He might be the next best GM out there. He might be the next Howie Roseman. We don't know, right? And it's so hard to judge off of him on this one solo year alone. But you're right. I mean, the thought of top quarterbacks, that's why you need somebody that's going to be able to mold, right? That's why you're going to need somebody to be able to mold. And we don't know what Jonathan Gannon's going to be either. We don't know. Another young quarterback that this is the first time being his quarterback and is a defensive minded. It's a lot. It's a lot. Appreciate the contribution, James. Thank you so very much. Something in the chat says Terry is a liar. I don't know. We're not getting into that. Somebody in the chat says Matt Ishbia might as well buy the Cardinals too. I hope so. I truly hope so. I think that would be wonderful. Matt Ishbia, you just be the king of Arizona sports, man. That would be the absolute ideal dream for Cardinal fans that breathe and live Arizona Cardinal football, right? Because we do truly deserve better. We do. We have not done anything at all. In the Super Bowl era, we've won 6 playoff games. Like, how sad is that's bad? Like, I'm surprised that we have Cardinal fans that love to actually talk about the Cardinals organization in the offseason. Now, let me tell you one thing right now. Arizona Cardinals, the fan base is probably the least amount of, what's the word? I guess, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I have a lot of other YouTube buddies that I keep close in contact whenever I need any like inside information from their team, right? Like the Miami Dolphins, anybody in the AFC East, man, that fandom is crazy huge. The 49er fandom is crazy huge. It's crazy that the Arizona Cardinals are where we are, but I don't blame them, right? I don't blame Cardinal fans. So it is what it is. They got a lot to prove. What's Michael Wilson's upside right now? I mean, his potential is as good as, I mean, he said himself that we got the steal of the draft, but we also did hear Josh Rosen saying that there was 10 mistakes made in front of him, right? Or something like that. So talk is cheap. Actions are better. Let's just put it that way. Michael Wilson can become good, right? Like a Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas was picked up, the 3rd round, 4th round. When he was with Drew Brees, he was a really good wide receiver. And obviously with injuries and all the stuff off the field, not off the field, but like stuff that happened with injury. It's just, he was never the same after Drew Brees. Let's put it that way. He could be good. He could be good. We just don't 100% know is what's going to happen this preseason and this offseason is going to really be telling for the Arizona Cardinals. This is why we never go back to the Super Bowl. Somebody says 3-14, actually 2-15. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, with losing Deandre Hopkins and then most likely losing Budda Baker, in my opinion, it's definitely not looking good. Let's just be honest. Somebody says Rondo Moore will save us. Oof. Rondo Moore will save us. Let's just leave it at that. Oof. How much of the tanking of the season is attributed to how the new coaching staff does this first year? The blame game, put the spotlight everywhere. How much of the tanking of the season is attributed to how the new coaching staff does through the first year? The blame game, put the spotlight elsewhere. So you're saying that, like, I'm a little confused on the comment. I'm assuming you're basically saying, like, don't just blame the coaching staff, is what you're saying, right? Yeah, I mean, well, when Cliff Kingsbury got signed, I don't think anybody was saying fire Cliff Kingsbury after year one, right? Nobody was saying fire Cliff Kingsbury after year one. After year two, that's when I started kind of chirping, right? After year three, that's when I really got upset. I don't know why there was a year four of Cliff Kingsbury. I truly, truly don't know. I don't know why. Blame Michael Bidwell. That's why, I guess. But yeah, there is nothing here that's going to be able to say, like, if Jonathan Gannon's a good head coach or not after year one. If he somehow gives us 7 wins, oh yeah, that's wonderful. That's great. But realistically, we're probably looking at a pretty bad year. And it sucks because for the people that love Kyler Murray, this isn't good for Kyler Murray's chances. Let's just put it that way. But if he didn't succeed with a all-star wide receiver like Deandre Hopkins, I mean, what else do you got to say from that, right? It's going to be very, very telling on what this next season is going to become. I'll be watching. I'll be making videos. I'll be there. We're dreaming too early now. Yeah, that's true. I bet you will lose on your bye week also. Woo. That hurts. Do you think the release of D-Hop is the right decision? The right decision for the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, it is the right decision for the simple fact that the Arizona Cardinals were not going to hold DeAndre Hopkins captive. They weren't going to do it. DeAndre Hopkins wanted out. Did we want to trade him away, or did we take phone calls to trade DeAndre Hopkins? Yes, we did. We just didn't get the package that we thought we were going to get. Was it the right move to release him? Yes, it was, because DeAndre Hopkins wanted out. It doesn't mean it doesn't suck, though. It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, right? So the right decision, yes, but it still hurts. In all seriousness, the Arizona Cardinals might go 17-0, top 10 offense, top 5 defense, and 3 coaching staff. Woof! All right, we got some positivity in the chat. Let's keep it going. All right, love it. Somebody says, bless you. Thank you. Bless you, too. I know you were doing that because I sneezed. Thank you. James with another, he says, we're going to go deep in the we're going to go on a deep playoff run. Kyler's going to be full G Fuel and broken Madden plays carry us. I mean, let's hope. We don't know. This is going to be the most craziest off season or season we're going to see in a long time, because it's a lot of unknown. So as of right now, to recap and making this video, put a bow on it, is this the right decision for the Arizona Cardinals? Yes, it's the right decision for the Arizona Cardinals because DeAndre Hopkins didn't want to be here. It was obvious. D-Hop did not want to be here. There's no way that your star wide receiver is going to go on a podcast and not name the top 5 quarterbacks that he wants to catch a pass from, and not being Kyler, and one of them not being Kyler Murray, or even deflect this question, right? The fact that this right here is telling. And like I said, I knew about this and I didn't make a video about this because the idea of DeAndre Hopkins, I was so tired of the story. I'm so drained. With the DeAndre Hopkins. Is he staying? Is he not staying? Okay, you're leaving. Good riddance. Does it suck? Yes, it still sucks, right? It still sucks that we didn't get anything out of him. But honestly, I'm kind of relieved that the storyline is over. You don't want to be a Cardinal. It's obvious. Don't come on IG Live and say things like, oh, who said I wanted to leave anyway? Don't get people excited, right? Don't get fans excited that you're going to stay. You know darn well what you're going to do, right? When you went on that I Am Athlete podcast, you know darn well what your intentions were. And that was another message to the Arizona Cardinals organization, that this man didn't want to be here. One last thing. So as of right now, it is the right decision. Does it suck? It does suck. Because he was the best wide receiver, probably top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. And B, we couldn't get anything in the draft capital. But I'm assuming Monty Ossenfort was trying to trade him. He just couldn't do it. Contract, age, injury in the last few years with the Cardinals. It just added up to nobody giving us draft compensation. But as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. as a Cardinals organization. The ones that stay are the ones that truly, truly are going to be rocking with the Arizona Cardinals regardless. That's going to be me, right? Me and the few people that popped in here to talk about Deandre Hopkins on a Friday, the real MVPs. The real MVPs. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you guys haven't already, smack the like button. Definitely do that favor for me right now. Smack up the like button. Don't do it for the release of Deandre Hopkins, but do it for me. Do it for the AZ sports fan here. Also, subscribe it up if you're a Twitter follower or you're watching on Twitter. Definitely go and shoot a follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe it up on the road to 12K, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to every single one of you guys here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see what happens. Currently, right now, the Arizona Cardinals are in voluntary OTAs. Not really big much storylines coming out of it other than let's see what 2023 holds, and let's see what the future of Budda Baker is going to hold for the Arizona Cardinals. All right, y'all. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day. Go Cards.